Hello, I'm Azortharion, and this will be a short and sweet guide to simming almost anything using a new add-on I found, and RaidBots, a whole new website that is basically running SimCraft on someone else's expensive PC hardware, making it much faster and much easier because it has a more intelligent user interface. So, the only thing you'll really need is sim permutes, which is this new add-on I'm talking about, and it basically lets you compare all the items in your bags at once without the use of stat weights. It lets you generate a simulation that you can plug into RaidBots and sim all your items with. The way it works is it will take the items you select in this menu, and when you press generate, it will create all permutations of those items. That means basically all the different ways in which you can combine those items. So if I were to select all my different tier pieces, both from tier 19 and tier 20, then it would give me a sim that I can plug into RaidBots that would sim what items I should wear, what tier items I should wear, and what combination of tier items I should wear. It will not only tell you if you should stick to your 2-piece from the previous tier, or if you should be switching to the new tier 24-piece bonus, 2-piece bonus, or what have you. And let me just demonstrate it with this tier example real quick. I'm gonna select all the different tier items that I have, both from the new and the old tier, and ignore all the duplicates and all that. Then I'm gonna press generate. These settings, I guess, can matter. It basically just sets the default enchants you wish to for all items to sort of adhere to, which makes them, equal in that sense. So just set that up to be your best stats, your agility cloak if you're a hunter, and whatever your neck enchant you're currently using. And then you press generate. And then you get this, which is all the different combinations of the items you have put in here. So you can copy paste that, go to raidbots.com and go to advanced. And if you just copy paste the whole thing in here and press simulate, it will sim all of those different combinations and it will tell you the best one. The caveats to using RaidBots, because it might sound too good to be true, is that there's a small queue, usually no more than 30 seconds to a minute, but it depends on the load. But even with the queue, I found it to be 3, 5, 7 times faster than what you are probably going to have in your PC. So yeah, there's really no reason to use SimCraft anymore. It will even, you don't have to update RaidBots because that's done sort of off your PC. You should make sure to swap to the nightly version down here. If the nightly has a big issue for some reason, you can swap to the weekly. I'd stay away from release because, like, even at this point, well after the release of patch 7.2.5, it's still release still matches 0.2.0. So yeah, stay away from that. Swatch the nightly, and that's what you can use most of the time. And you can edit the iteration count you want, either manually up here. You can press all kinds of scripts. The only limitation to what you can put up there is stuff that makes the sim very long. There's a time limit that you can increase by pledging to the Patreon of RaidBots, but for most like casual purposes, that's not needed at all. It's mostly for me doing my trinket sims or whatever like that. For the purpose of this video, I'll set the iteration count to 1000. I'd recommend you go for a minimum of 5,000, but given that it's so fast, I really wouldn't go below 10,000 for any purpose except really, really big ones. But even this is fairly big. But if you want something that's not one of these 5 options, then you can just plug it in here. Iterations equals 1,000 in my case. And then you just press run, and it'll skip the queue in my case because I've pledged to the Patreon. And after not very long, it will tell me the best combination of all the items that I got. In my case, it's gonna be the one that I'm currently wearing. But it will also show you how all the others stack up to each other. And it's finished. So it's really that simple. And you can even get it to send you an email with all the links and stuff. It even gives you the sort of bare bones simulation craft report. If you want to like check out all the details of these different combinations, but like for casual usage, that's not generally needed. So yeah, that covers basically simming your best gear setup with sim permute. there's a limitation to how many combinations you can make at once, because of course, due to the nature of the beast, the more items you add, the exponentially longer it's going to get. So I wouldn't really step above 21, 22 different items selected. But what you can do if you're also trying to, involve your trinkets and your rings and stuff that's not related to your tier items, is just do those separately. So you might start with, your optimal tier piece setup, then you'll just close it and open it again, and you'll, select the trinkets that might be good for you. Maybe this one looks good, maybe that one from Kil'jaeden looks good, that one, why not that one for some AoE? And it generates all combinations of those and your current trinkets. And you get the idea. It's basically the same thing. Beyond what you can call just basic gear stuff, you can sim different talent combinations. This is rarely useful because generally your talent choices are going to be influenced by the fight that you're doing. But it can be fun to see just how good or bad certain talents are. Like, you might be surprised at how close volley is to crows for single target as a marksmanship hunter, for example, because they're really not that far apart. And it's the same idea. You just select all the talents you might wish to compare. Ones that seem good or might be viable. No point like simming stuff that is terrible. And then it generates a profile like that for you, and you can just plug that into the advanced sim and get your best talents as well. At least on a single target, however many you pick. So according to this, the Bloodthirsty Instinct is actually, pretty close to what I currently got, which is an Arcana Crystal. You don't have to worry about unuses. It handles unused trinkets automatically, like the Tome of Unraveling Sanity and all that stuff. But yeah, I guess you basically got the point. Beyond like comparing all your gear and stuff, raid bots can also just do basic stuff like your stat weights. You just plug in from the simulation craft add-on. It's not as useful to have pawn strings anymore, or stat weights, because when it's so easy to compare all your gear that you have in your bags available to you, you don't really need stat weights to tell you what's better when you can just sim it so easily. But it's still good to have a pawn string for when you need to tell your raid leader how big of an upgrade something is, or something similar to that. But what if you want to sim something that you don't strictly have? Like, I don't have that nice trinket from the Sisters of the Moon yet. So what am I supposed to do about that? Well, we're gonna leave sim permit for that one. And if you want to sim something you don't already have, you just get the simulation craft add-on. You do /simc and you get this. And you go to the advanced sim and you just pop that in. And now to add something that we don't have, we have to know only the ID of that item. We have a lovely dungeon journal for that. There are add-ons that will show the item ID in its tooltip. LVI does it automatically, so you don't have to worry about it if you have that. So you just find the item you're looking for. The eye level doesn't actually matter. So I want to sim this trinket. Let me just swap this to marksmanship. This trinket that I don't have. Tiny Sentinel Medallion. I know what it's about. ID is what I'm looking for, so it's 147017. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do copy equals and then a quotation mark, and then I'm just gonna call it, Tiny Sentinel Medallion, which is the trinket's name. And then I'm gonna note which trinket I'd like to try replacing with. In this case, the trinkets aren't labeled, so I'll have to go check here. Trinket 1 is my Convergence, Trinket 2 is my Unstable Arcana Crystal. I'm not expecting to replace my Convergence, so let's just make it Trinket 2 equals, then you just put an instant comma, because you can call it whatever you want, Medallion Bro or something. But the ID is what you're looking for. As we noted, it was 147017. And for the eye level we just do another comma followed by eye level equals, and then you just put it to whatever you want. So if I could get a eye level 1000 Tiny Sentinel Medallion, then I would just put that in, and it's simply gonna, very, very quickly sim how great it would be. Looks like I forgot to put Trinket 2, which I should have done. So yeah, don't do that mistake when you're doing it yourself. And it generates does the baseline real quick, and then you have your sim, and it looks like a eye level 1000 medallion would be a huge upgrade. So I'm hoping to get a impossibly high Titan Forge to eye level 1000. But you get the point, and that's how you sim a trinket or item of any kind that you don't necessarily have already. To sim all your different types of legendaries, it's the same basic idea as simming your different tier items. You just select every legendary and then, your best non-legendary replacement of that item, so it has something to fall back on for item sets that are not using it. So if I want to find out if my gloves are worth using, I'll just swap to that. And if I want to swap away from my boots, I need it to what else is this gonna use? Those boots seem fine. For rings, you don't need to. Well, you have a second ring as well if you don't want to swap out of the ring. Gonna select this one, seems pretty good to me. And then it's generate all your different legendary combinations. And, same deal as before. Put in how many iterations you want, not less than 5,000, ideally 10,000 or at least. And then it generates, your best legendary. So in either case, going to the swapping out my boots for the gloves would be terrible. And swapping to this ring would also be a slight decrease. It also generates that. And swapping out of the ring, my legendary ring, into the gloves would be even worse than swapping out of the boots. You get the idea. And using raid bots with sim permute in this way can basically eliminate any kind of questions you might have about your gear. And when someone says sim yourself in the Hunter Discord or any class Discord, then you'll know exactly what combination, add-ons, and great websites you can use to get your answers. Thank you for watching. This has been Azortharion. I'll see you guys another time.